Did Black LGBTQ History Month matter at all? As we mentioned at the top of the show, the LGBTQ plus community often ignores people of color when it comes to the events and history. Tonight, we want to change that. First, we want to talk about some of our important events here in South Florida. On the February 23rd, the Pride Center presents a Black History Month celebration, Black Excellence. It's all about the rhythm. The Ujima Men's Collective, in collaboration with the Pride Center, is planning a Black History program to highlight significant contributions from the Black LGBTQ plus community. On the 24th, Empower You and Unity Coalition present Melanated, Motivated, and Moving Forward, a panel discussion and fashion segment in honor of Black History HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. Thursday, February 24th, 1 to 4 p.m. at the historic Hampton House. I'm super happy and super proud of all of the things we have been doing throughout our community, throughout the month of February. I just hope and I pray that we continue to keep this momentum going forward, not just during February, through March, through April, through May, through June, through July, through August, through September, through October, November, December, and so on.
All year round, yeah.
All year round. It's not just this month. It's every day.
What I put on my Facebook when I post, and I'm posting about LGBTQ history, Black LGBTQ history, Black history, whatever it is, I put American history.
Yes.
Because we're all in this country,
Yes.
right? I put American history during Black History Month, right? This is Black History Month, and that's nice. But this is American history. We're a part of the fabric of this society.
Yes.
We've been here forever. We've been here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. We didn't just arrive, right?
They brought us here.
And so was it important? It was absolutely important. I have so many people on my Facebook writing going, I'm so glad you posted that. I never knew that. Nobody ever taught me that. Nobody, and this is not people from within the LGBTQ community. It's just people who are going, oh my God, I had no idea that that even happened. No one ever taught me that. So I think the more that we can get the information out there, the more that people are allowed to receive the information and go, wow, that's interesting. Not interesting because it was Black, but interesting because
It's
it
our
happened.
history.
Because it's part of American history.
But let's not.
I think the more that we can start to have it more year round.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the issue that, I often celebrate things like this where our people are being highlighted, but let's not become victims of being tokens, meaning victims of where people are captivating over your gift and over your talent because of the color of our skin, because you do have it happens. Don't just focus on my people, our people in 1 month.
We should do it, the whole year?
360
Oh yeah, just like you just said.
Will
You said,
ask
oh
us
yeah.
to come to the events and facilitate and be presenters. We will take our reparations. I'm gonna say it. Pay for the gift. Pay for the education, because unfortunately, it is given and promoted and appreciated in the shortest month, which we'll take it. But that was also part of the propaganda. But if you want to really know the truth from true storytellers, do reach out and get us on the calendar throughout the year, and then provide some type of community incentive, because you want the Black and Brown history to be a part of your history, aligned with your organization, so that you can provide the right community initiatives, be more aligned with helping people and the needs of people within our community of the LGBT.
But we're all LGBTQ history. We're all Black history.
We are.
Yes.
We're all
Yes.
Black history, because every last one of us, we're doing the darn thing.
Yes.
We were super excited. Even January 22nd, we did a program in Miami at the Sandra Rivers Theater honoring the life of Bayard Rustin.
You did.
Yeah.
We
that,
did
yes.
an opening interview with his partner, who was a white man by the name of Walter. We did an actual live interview on Zoom with him, discussing their lives. He educated us about what him and Walter did during that time in history, and just the fact that they were already in a interracial relationship during those times.
Carvel, do you feel like we are in our community of South Florida are doing a good job for Black History Month this year?
Yeah, I mean, piggyback what you just said before. Like, there is a synergy. There is I will say a try or attempt in Wilton Manors and South Florida for more inclusive of LGBT
Yes,
of color. I mean,
yes.
it's not perfect yet, but there is a energy spark there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And I mean,
fantastic.
So.
And we have
Yeah.
individuals who are, such as your organization and your organization, that are setting trends. So,
Yeah.
Kudos to each
Absolutely.
of you again at this table.
So we would also like to discuss some of our LGBTQ plus Black icons in honor of Black History Month. To begin, we would like to honor Bayard Rustin, a contemporary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He made huge strides during the civil rights movement, having worked on the freedom rides in the 1940s and 50s, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963, and testified on behalf of the New York Gay Civil Rights Bill. In a speech in 1986, he said, quote, "Today, blacks are no longer the litmus paper or the barometer of social change. Blacks are in every segment of society, and there are laws that help to protect them from racial discrimination. The new N-word are gays. It is in this sense that gay people are the new barometer for social change. The question of social change should be framed with the most vulnerable group in mind, gay people," end quote. What do you think?
I want to hear your intake.
I think it was so forward thinking of him, again, like we were talking about with the Black Panthers, back in that time, to be able to set aside what he may have been going through in society as a black man, to go, but guess what? Gay people are
There's
having
another
it
minority
worse.
group that we're missing it.
And
We're missing
but to
it.
think about the humility that
Yeah.
that takes, right? To
Oh,
not
wow.
even think about himself in that
At
way,
that
but
time.
to go, hey, there are other people hurting, and this is who the people are. The thing that really makes me upset about his history
Mm-hmm.
is just that, at a certain point, he was asked to no longer
Be on the forefront.
be around Martin Luther King Jr.
He had to work from the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because they said that it was
feared
him
that.
being gay, him being
Yeah.
black was fine. Him being gay was now interfering with the broader message, right?
Right.
And again, he didn't talk about that, right?
No.
He
Never-
talked about,
never
hey,
was
there
his agenda.
are other
Right.
people who are hurting. Like,
Yeah.
how do we lift them up?
That goes back to the other stories you're saying, the
Yeah.
intersection between being LGBTQ and also being black.
Black.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he was queer in a time where it was already
getting-
yeah,
we were
it's like the
getting
dark
killed.
ages, yeah. So
It was against the law.
yeah, I mean, but not even that. I'm just saying it's you
Yeah.
want to be out and proud like that.
And I think that's the point he was pointing out, right?
And
He
it's-
said,
it-
hey, we have laws to
I just
protect
wanna
black
say
people.
one-
The gay
But do
people
you
have no
think
laws. I'm still
If
getting
we
arrested.
do focus
one more
on-
thing I was just
Yeah.
want to point out too is, as much as we have all these changes, all the stuff, we're still a mirror of that time. They're they're coming after us with these bills,
Yes.
with this crazy rhetoric,
Right.
these made up like
So that's what I was
stuff
going
like-
into.
so,
Do you think
yeah.
we're missing it?
Yeah.
We want to still subject it to black and brown injustice. If we focus on the LGBTQ, would the laws be more representative for the people of the inclusion committee?
Of course, which is why really what's missing in today's time, I'm just gonna say it.
Say it.
Real activism.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 80s, if they said anything,
activism.
we ran up and down the streets. We have laws being passed in the state of Florida.
Where we can.
I don't see anything happening.
Right.
I don't hear anybody posting about it.
Right.
I don't see anybody like
We live in a
like
distracted
picket-
society.
So
picketing
that-
No, that's the other thing
anything.
too. We live in a
They're just
distracted
passing the
society.
laws and
So-
everybody's sitting back,
Yeah.
Before
waiting
we
for
move on
somebody
to the
else
next story,
to do it.
is that what I'm hearing from the Black Panther story? Is that you all were saying we're doing the work, but we need some activisms, people on the other side that are going to back our passion and
Yeah.
stand it. I see. Okay, Edric, is there
Yes.
something that you wanted to add?
Before we move on.
all I would say as it relates to the life of that individual, I need everyone to remember, before Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, a gay man had a vision.
Very well said.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, Edric.
Next, before Lady Gaga, we celebrated being born this way with Archbishop Carl Bean. He was an American singer and activist who was the founding prelate of the Unity Fellowship Church. movement, a liberal Protestant denomination that is particularly welcoming of lesbian, gays, and bisexual African Americans. Before founding the first church of the denomination, Unity Fellowship Church, Los Angeles in 1975, Bean was a Motown and disco singer and released his hit disco, I Was Born This Way. I sure was, from the womb to the tomb. I came out as a queen. I'm going as one. Anyway, in 1982, Bean became an activist working on behalf of people with HIV and AIDS.
Another entertainment icon, king of drag. Let me get that snap. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, we are talking about Gladys Bentley. She was a blues singer, pianist, and entertainer during the Harlem Renaissance. Her career skyrocketed when she appeared at Harry Hansberry Claim House in New York in the 1920s as a black lesbian cross-dressing performer, definitely ahead of her times. She headlined in the early 1930s at Harlem's Ubangi Club, where she was backed up by a chorus line of drag queens. She dressed in men's clothes, including a singer tailcoat and top hat, played piano, and sang her own raunchy lyrics to popular tunes of the day in a deep, growling voice while flirting with the women in the audience. Yes, she had style and pizzazz, and that was supposed to be said signature style, signature fashion, and a top hat with the cane. She had a cane on that stage.
I love her history, and I love, a lot of what we also don't learn a lot about is the Roaring 20s, right?
Yeah.
And the inclusiveness, the ability to be in all different kind of spaces, and it being okay. And then for me, what I try to look at, okay, what happened, right? If this was already happening in the 20s,
what happened?
If she was already able to do that, right, in the 20s, what happened? Where did we go wrong? What happened? What did we miss?
I think
so that
for
we don't
our
repeat
community,
that?
like you said, you mentioned two pivotal moments. There was Harlem, and then you all can, and then the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
That gave blacks, a voice who were queer. And then if we didn't have a movement, we didn't have anything to fall behind.
Right.
And it was also during this time, and I believe John can relate to this, that's how the conception of the ballroom community came.
Yeah.
The ballroom community
there's a
was
connection,
formed in the Harlem Renaissance because you have to remember the reason why ball starts so late historically is because at night they will come. So they had to do it as late when they thought everyone was away, sleep. They would come out and the men would dress up in drag, and the women, as the performing that you stated, will be dressed up as a man.
Yes.
History.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're speaking about another icon, one of the most well-known faces of the LGBTQ plus right movement, Marsha P. No Mind Johnson. After the Stonewall Uprising, Marsha continued to lead the LGBTQ plus community as a part of the Gay Liberation Front. Any thoughts?
Yes. I want to
She's not me. She's my wizard. So she's my genesis. So it's great that we're highlighting all these individuals, especially on the show. So yeah.
Have you watched the series on Netflix where they talk about her in those times?
Yeah.
And really, when I think about when we talk about spirituality and humility and how even her tagline would be "Pay it no mind," right?
Yeah.
She was facing things none of us face on a daily basis, right? Like literally, they were she got killed.
And the girls continue to face it.
And
too.
her attitude was, "Pay it no mind. I'm not going to be erased.
Yeah.
You're not going to silence me. I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm gonna keep fighting." I don't know. I just love the motivation that it gives me to learn about people like Marsha P. Washington.
As much as we have all these changes, there's still many changes for the Black LGBT, or I should say Black trans women.
Trans
on this story.
On this particular story,
How have you found support through your tribe?
It's been, for me, it's been through a group of different friends and support from that respect, but
But
I thought we were. I was in a different train of thought about that as far as.
okay.
Regardless, I want
Yeah.
to thank Marsha P. Johnson
Yes.
for her strength, and Carvel, I want to thank you for your
Yes,
strength,
yes.
your
Absolutely.
perseverance, and just to continue to be your beautiful self that you
Oh,
are.
thank you,
beautiful.
thank you,
Yes.
thank you, John.
Right.
I appreciate it.
Finally, we want to end tonight's discussion with a local LGBTQ plus leader who is making history in our lifetimes. Lorenzo Robertson is an author, poet, and actor. He is the co-founder and facilitator of Brothers Speak, a discussion group for Black men in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He is the executive director for the Ujima Men's Collective, an agency for Black gay men. Lorenzo is constantly working around the state and country, conducting workshops, seminars, and lectures on a variety of topics and interventions: stigma, sex and sexuality, many men, many voices, D-Up, voices, holistic health and recovery program, and other workshops that address issues surrounding the gay and lesbian issues.
Yay!
That's
my heart.
Yes, that's our. That's
We
our
love you, and we are so appreciative of the amazing and strong Black man that you have
Yes,
shown us,
yes.
Yes.
and exemplify and encourage and empower us as we are sitting here tonight to be. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And before I go on, I have to say the reason why I am who I am, because over 8 years ago, he took someone like me and he saw something in me and allowed me to be the Kiki Project coordinator. And he gave me my push to who I am today and the job that I even have today. So y'all know him as Lorenzo, I know him as Mike Oaktree. So I love you and I honor you, and I'm glad that we're able to give you your flowers while you yet can see them and smell them. Yeah. Well,
I'm happy that we're highlighting Lorenzo. I mean, it's good. We're highlighting local people, not only
Yes.
icons,
Yes.
but people, like you said,
Local
you said give them their
icons.
flowers where they're here and things like
Yes,
that. And that's,
yes.
it's, Lorenzo does a lot of great work, so it's great that we're highlighting him.
Love is hard.
Yes.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT